Good afternoon and welcome to a warm Bahrain International Circuit. We are ready for qualifying for the season finale of the 2025 FIA World Endurance Championship, the 8th and final round here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And the 8th race is an 8-hour race. That will be tomorrow, Saturday. And so to get there, Anthony Davidson, we have to sort our grid. So, as before, 2 sessions of qualifying, one for LMGT3, one for Hypercar, so that there are fewer problems with traffic.
Yeah, so we start with the LMGT3 as always, and it will be the bronze-rated drivers. Here's one of them, Ben Keating in the car 33 Corvette. What can he do today? So the bronze drivers start, followed by their silver drivers, while the pros, the platinums and the golds of this world sit back and enjoy the action.
Put their feet up. And the silver driver only gets to drive if the bronze gets them into the top 10 and moves through to the hyperpole shootout. Graham Goodwin, it's an entertaining format.
It's a bit evolving format, and it's been a bit of a smash hit with the fan base, I can tell you that. So remember, this session, as Martin implied there, is all about who's not going through. It's about the bottom 8. The next session is Ahmed Al-Hati at a club aboard the 46 BMW. The next session will be about who's going to be on pole position for this final race of the season. Ricard Leitz there, coffeeed up. He won't be taking part in either of those sessions because, of course, he is the platinum driver.
And what tends to happen, actually, is that the pro doesn't drive at all. Now, weather temperature 31 degrees, it's barely gone up since free practice. Track temperature is about where we were at the end of free practice as well, so still got the full heat of the sun. But I think later, Anthony, and particularly when we get into Hypercar, we will start to talk about that evolution, particularly in track temperature.
Yeah, as soon as the temperatures come down, you'll get better track grip, you'll get more downforce, you'll get more power as well in those cooler conditions, and that's what all of the drivers will be enjoying later on. But these GT drivers probably, they only start to experience the cusp of that as it changes, the sun starts to set towards the end of their qualifying session. But yeah, like you say, by the time we get to the hypercars, they'll be driving into the darkness, and that's when you'll see even faster lap times come their way. So let's take a look at this 5.5 kilometre long clockwise circuit. 15 corners, we're in an 8-hour race here come tomorrow afternoon. We'll take a look at some of the key corners on the lap, starting off at turn 1. So the pit lane entry feeds into turn 1, but it's a very critical braking zone in qualifying to get that right on the threshold of adhesion of the tyres. Then you come to another slow speed section, turns 9 and 10. We see many cars go wide here, even hit each other during FP3. So it's one that you have to get right in qualifying. It's all about being with that controlled aggression as you approach that corner. Then you come into sector 3 in red here. Got turns 11, 12 and 13 before you come to the final 2 on the lap, 14 and 15. You don't want it all to go wrong there right at the end. It's, again, a difficult braking. I love that final corner, that double apex. Everyone always forgets about 15. There are 15 corners on this track, and I'm guilty of referring to the last corner being turn 14. Might be the final braking zone of the circuit, but it's one where it can all go wrong on the exit. If you just run onto that curb in between the 2, 14 and 15, it drags you off on the exit of 15, and you lose a lot of lap time. And if you're even more unlucky, you go all 4 wheels over the white line, and that'll be your lap time gone. Yeah,
and that's going to be absolutely critical here, because you might have 1 or 2 laps in the tyre when it's really at its peak. And there are, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different places where you will absolutely guarantee lose your lap by running with those inside wheels going over the white line. And you're right, corner 15 is the last of them. So 11 and 12 up the hill, 12, 13 rather, 12 this morning in qualifying for one of our support races, the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. Everybody was losing laps in that corner alone. And the tyre, well, they've gone with the Eagle Hard tyre from Goodyear this weekend. Not so much that it's going to last longer, but that it is actually, its operating window is a higher track temperature. And that's really it. That H should probably stand for hot rather than hard, and medium for medium conditions. So they brought that here, and we heard from some of the drivers of rear engine cars, and actually admission from drivers of the front engine cars, that it does seem to work better, this compound, on the front engine cars. So we're looking at the Mercedes, we're looking at the Mustangs, we're looking at the Aston Martins, whereas rear engine cars like the Corvette, Porsche, the Ferrari are perhaps a little bit of a deficit. And in fact, front engine Lexus was very quick as well over the practice session. So it is going to be possibly a split field, but again, getting that lap out of it in qualifying, that is going to be the challenge for these guys today.
And when it comes down to, with all due respect for the bronze-rated drivers, so the lowest-graded drivers that the teams will have in play here today, those kind of smaller details get lost in the difference of experience and speed between the bronze-rated drivers. Their performance alone can completely outweigh those smaller differences. So, you know, these drivers can sometimes be around 1.5 seconds a lap slower than their pro driver teammates, for example. So those differences aren't within the front engine versus the rear engine. They're the smaller details that the pros will be identifying. And interestingly, I've never heard the pros talking about those differences before, being front engine or rear engine, how it affects the tyres. Maybe it's unique to this circuit.
I think it's unique to this hotter compound Goodyear, is that there's more of a difference. Graham Goodwin, championships up for grabs. I mean, that's not happening in qualifying, but there is a point. And if you're sitting there having lost the championship for a point because you kind of focused on race setup,
yeah, indeed. And actually, there's an interesting little stat to go with this, because none of our championship contenders have yet set a pole position this season. We've had 6 different pole setters. Only one squad has set 2 pole positions. That's the Racing Spirit of Le Mans car. And what's going to be interesting here, we had a discussion before the session went live. Very different challenge this circuit and Davidson. What are they going to do about going straight out onto this circuit? These cars and then the hypercars to follow.
Well, I think with the bronze drivers, they'll want to be out there pretty quickly to get themselves up to speed. Albeit you don't have the tyre warmers in the World Endurance Championship anymore, either in LMGT3 or hypercar. So you need naturally for them to come into the right working range, right temperatures. And maybe we'll see perhaps the silver drivers later on taking things a little, like delaying it a little bit before they go out, because you do get quite good warm-up on this track usually. But I think for the bronze drivers, we'll probably expect them to go out straight away to get themselves up to speed. But then, yeah, when we come to the hypercars later on, we could be seeing a bit more of what we saw in Fuji, perhaps, where they delay things even by just a lap when we're in the hyperpole session right at the end, because the track will be at its best at that point, and you don't want to use the best from your tyres before the track reaches its peak.
Looking here at Célia Martin in the Iron Dames Porsche, had a little bump in the barriers in the final free practice session. No major drama done. No pole positions for Ferrari so far this season. We've had a pole position for Lexus, for McLaren, for the Ford Mustang, but
1 minute, under 1 minute to start LMGT3 qualifying session. We are under 1 minute to go for the LMGT3s.
3 pole positions out of 7 for Aston Martins.
Yeah.
So 2 for Racing Spirit Le Mans, 1 for Heart of Racing. So it's been quite a decent qualifying car, the Aston Martin Vantage.
Yeah, and you know, a little bit of a fluctuation in some of the bronze talent that's been brought to the effort. Here's a man who's been ever present this season, and I believe we'll be back for more next year.
30 seconds, under 30 seconds to open pit exit.
It's Ben Keating, who sits just outside the mathematical possibilities of getting to the championship this year, but he'll want pole position and he'll want the win without a shadow of a doubt.
Pit lane will open in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pit exit is now open for LMGT3 qualifying. Please remind drivers of the need to respect track limits. Thank you.
For those of you who were listening to Free Practice 3, I did describe Eduardo as what we would call in theatrical terms the voice of God. The hand of God rested on my shoulder at lunchtime and said, "It is not the voice of God." So there you go, the voice of our race director, Eduardo Freitas. Right, so 12 minutes, 18 cars. not a huge amount of traffic. And Anthony, you've got to, I'm assuming as a driver, just isolate yourself from anybody else and focus on what the plan is for your car, because otherwise if you get distracted you're in real trouble.
Absolutely, and that visual distraction, even for these drivers, the bronze-rated drivers, that visual distraction, let alone the turbulence you get from the car in front, can really put you off when you want clear visibility of the track in front. So that's probably more the reason why they're just trying to spread things out here, give their drivers enough space so they can do their own thing, build themselves up how they want to.
On track here, number 60, AMG from Iron Links.
So as they just tiptoe around at this stage, just want to build up the brake temperature, the tyre temperatures. Mentioned the fact that there are no tyre warmers in WEC now, so you daren't have a spin, a lock-up, or anything like that, because these tyres have got to serve you good later on when you really need them. Once you've built the bulk temperature, the trick is to get heat into the whole body of the tyre by just circulating, but not over-slipping the surface. You don't want to scrub the surface of your tyre too much. That's where you get your grip from. But you need, the grip also comes from the body of the tyre being warm, and that's the trick that all the pros will know like the back of their hand. Much more difficult for drivers of this kind of experience level.
And somebody there like Ryan Hardwick, our championship leader, last year he was doing this in a totally different car. So it's all that learning process as well. Like Ben Keating, for instance, if you're in the same car for 2 consecutive seasons, then that becomes much more instinctive.
Comes Ben Keating, first braking zone of the lap, brake just as that curb starts on your left-hand side. Other drivers looks like happy not to be out there at this point with this with the track at its worst state that it will be in qualifying. Every lap these cars do will be putting more and more grip down on the track.
I mentioned Ben Keating, the 33. The 81 Corvette, the hands of Tom Van Rompuy, has not left the pits. Thomas Floor has just pitted, so he's done his outlap. I believe a fair number of these cars will expect to do an outlap, a prep lap, then a push. So it'll be a couple of laps before we start seeing these times at representative levels. But interesting, hopefully, strategy from the 81. Not a problem for that car.
That car lies 3rd in the drivers' points. So they are definitely looking at a title run from here. Now, that's not a good sign for the 54 Ferrari. A tyre change, if that's what he had come in for, does not normally involve the car going onto the dollies, because that means it's going back in the garage. There is the 81 car. Does not look like stress. What they're looking at is what they can see behind them up the pit lane, and that's Thomas Floor's car going back into the AF Corsa garage.
And the engine cover coming up as they come into the garage too. So dramas for the 54. Not the title contending Ferrari, remember?
No. Which is bad news for them, but also good news for them, because they weren't in the title race anyway. But it does mean that's one less thing that everybody has to worry about. John Van Rompuy in the 81 Corvette, still in the pit lane at TF Corsa. TF Sport, AF Corsa.
Freudian slip there, but
made up a new team.
It's going to be a long weekend, isn't it? Oh, so it was the car, it was the hot water in the hotel, now it's the teeth.
And now Tom Van Rompuy emerges from the pits, and he'll be in close proximity to the other Corvettes.
Well, that's really interesting. So we'll keep an eye on Van Rompuy. He's completely out of sync with the rest of the drivers out there, and should enjoy, therefore, much better track conditions towards the end. So his times, yeah, he's that lap or 2 behind other cars on track. So let's see how they get on. Keating on top at the moment with a 2:04. That's the time to beat, as Francois Heriot crosses the line to pop himself up into P5. And Leung now in the 95 McLaren, slots in just behind him, P6. So it's expecting these lap times. Obviously, look, 19 seconds behind is Leung. So this is what I was talking about. You know, the drivers are going to be finding so much more time in themselves as they become more settled after a bit of a break. We've had lunch in between FP3 and now, but even that, being out of the car and getting back into it with a couple of hours later, for these drivers, the bronze drivers, need to bed themselves back in again and jog the memory of how it felt when they were out there before.
In a way, quite handy that you've got a couple of laps to build speed in the tyre, because then you're dialing yourself in.
Absolutely.
As well. Andrew Gilbert, top of the pile in the number 60 Mercedes. We've yet to have a Mercedes pole position. And the 54 Ferrari, 6 of the 12 minutes remain on the clock. If they don't get out in the next couple of minutes, he's not even going to get one flying lap. Now, all the heat that he's built into the tyre, into the brake, might help with tyre warm-up, but probably not enough.
So the kind of time we're looking for here, this session last year in this class, 2:02.311 was the quickest, and the bogey time was 2:03.7.
So 2:03.7 was what you had to have to be in the top 10, and that's what we're looking at now, is the cars in red, the elimination zone. So 54 for Ferrari, Thomas Flores down there. Again, almost nobody has actually set a quick lap. Now, Ryan Hardwick, the turquoise car coming across the line, our championship leader. That Porsche still in 12th. So his first flying lap. Yasser Shaheen, he's safe for the moment. 2:03.7 should keep him in. Martin Berry down in 9th place, going quickly. Ahmed Al-Hati goes quicker. So Berry down in 10th, but green in sector 1, purple in sector 2. Arnaud Robin in 7th place. Now down to 8th as Francois Heriot sticks in a quick lap. What about James Cottingham?
Yeah, he's down second to last at this point, so this is going to be a bit of a critical lap for him. Personal best in sector 1 as he tackles turn 11. And this is good news. The car 54 getting wheeled back out, but well, 4.5 minutes remaining. It can be done. It can be done.
Darren Leung in the other McLaren has just popped up to what was 8th, is now 9th. Andrew Gilbert improves. The McLarens have had a front row lockout this season.
And Van Rompuy, look at the bottom of your screen on the left-hand column. He's only just on his first flying lap.
Yeah.
That's how out of sequence he is. But here's Cottingham towards the final couple of corners.
Ending his first flying lap as Van Rompuy starts here. So it could be that these two are like the last men standing.
Looked pretty neat and tidy on the exit there. Could have maybe used a little bit more of that curb just to give himself a bit more speed onto that main straight. How's he get on? Oh, good. He pops himself into P5.
But look, down in 10th place, Darren Leung, down to 11th, Darren Leung in the other McLaren. So everybody now starting to find quicker laps.
One to watch as well is indeed Thomas Fleur, out of pit lane in time to make it, but it's super, super tight. Stefano Gattuso, that goes third quickest in the Mustang, up into contention of the top 10 and out of trouble at the moment on Marescu in the 87 car. Ben Keating is the first one in the drop zone at the moment in the 33 Corvette.
Here he is as he exits turn 15. He's got a nice slipstream as well. The car in front of him doesn't get any better than that. What's it going to be? P6 for now. Is that safe enough? It's going to be on the cusp, isn't it? 6.5 tenths away from the fastest time.
We're getting to the stage where if you're outside half a second away, you're in trouble. Never mind a full second away. 1.3 seconds back, you're in 12th.
Al-Hati crosses the line, P5, and that pushes Keating down to P8. You can see there now.
Look between Al-Hati in 5th and Francois Heriot in 6th, 0.02 of a second. Darren Leung from 13th. He was in 8th when he set his previous flying lap. Not a good sector 2.
Just about scrapes in, doesn't he? That pushes his teammate Cottingham back down into the elimination zone. But look at this one here. Robin comes through turn 13. Fastest first sector of all.
If he gets in, he pushes his teammate Petru Umbarescu out of 10th.
But that didn't look so tidy, did it? Through 13.
Bit of a wobble there for Arnaud Robin. That purple first sector must feel a long way away.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's enough here.
Just that snap of oversteer. And once again, I think in turn 14, just looked like as he got to the apex, the rear of that Lexus just stepping out a bit too much. Let's see how he gets on. So it's been a personal best middle sector.
Behind him, the silver Ferrari, Thomas Fleur, about to set a lap. Arnaud Robin goes second quickest. Out goes his teammate down to 11th. Cottingham is out. It's him or Leung. This is properly dog-eat-dog, isn't it?
And he pushes his teammate back down into the elimination zone. So car 81, keep an eye on him as well. Van Rompuy still 1.8 seconds away. That late starter.
He really needs something, doesn't he? But he's maybe not got the best out of the tyre yet. Umbarescu, can he push his way back in at the expense of Ben Keating? Let's see where he goes. He does. Keating's bounced out.
Van Rompuy is next up. Here he is then. All eyes on him. that late starter. What can he do as he crosses the line? Is he going to put himself into that? No, he's not out the elimination zone at all. And a really bad final sector as well, not even a personal best. I wonder what happened there.
We'll tell you, Thomas Floor did get onto a flying lap. He's got time for this and no more. That will define where they're going to finish in this session and whether or not he can make it into the top 10. His first flying lap shown on that graphic now, but others improving. It's both the TF Sports Corvettes at the moment, the drop zone. But let's watch Thomas Floor as well here as he tries to attack this racetrack, but not all the time to do it.
Talk about pressure for a driver as his teammates watch on. This is huge pressure. I mean, I spoke about it before. These bronze drivers really need the time. Well, he hasn't had that luxury in this session. He had a spin in FP3 as well on the exit of turn 10. So what can he do on his first flying lap?
And Anthony, that drama, the kind of total unsettling, taking you out of the zone of having to come back in and being pushed back into the garage, that's got to be totally disrupting it.
Oh, it's unsettling for even the hardened pros out there, Martin. So, let alone a driver, although he's experienced as a bronze driver, is Thomas Floor.
He should get one more lap after this, and he's going to need it as well. This is not a quick lap from him.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, isn't it? Look, 10 seconds to go now, but he is going to make it. He will get another lap.
And look at cars on other laps. Ben Keating, no better. The Mustang, no better. The Aston Martin, no better.
Yeah, the tyres are starting to fade away from them. It's, as we know with this track, it's brutal on tyres. It's a quick peak and then they drop off. And even Van Rompuy, further down, you can see the bottom right of your screen, hasn't even set a personal best middle sector.
And he's down in 15th. Célia Martin, the time has gone away. The Porsches are 17th and 18th. She's headed into the pit lane as well. The time is gone from the tyres. And so, at the moment, Ben Keating, this is going to be very frustrating again for Ben Keating.
Yeah, Van Rompuy, it wasn't enough for him either. Moved up one position to 14th.
It's only in the last 3 races that this 33 car has made it into Hypercar, and I don't think they're in this time.
No, Ben Keating running board here, he's backed out of it.
So it's
done, it's over
about
for both
whether
Corvettes.
Thomas Floor can make it in or not. 1.47 back, he's got this lap only, and there's almost nobody on track.
There's an implication that might not count for Thomas Floor, and I'm trying to find the regulation. I think it exists that says you cannot put the car in the garage in a qualifying session, so it may not count. So I'm going to double check that, but I think that's what the message you've seen on the screen is implying.
Yeah, I have 100%. That was not a tactical decision. That was, and so they will sort of argue that. However, let's take a look at what he's doing, Anthony.
Yeah, regardless of what the regulations are, he can only do his best right now, and that wasn't enough in the middle sector as he comes to the end of that before turn 12. He's still pushing on though, through 13 and pushing too much, just letting the rear step away from him. It didn't seem to slow down Robin in the Lexus when he did that. So let's see, will it be enough for Thomas Floor?
Well, there's that rear slide that even the pro drivers were talking about. Down into 14, 15, this long Opel Apex corner, and it just, didn't slow down for him enough. He will head into the pit lane. So neither Porsche, neither of the Corvettes, the 95 McLaren does not go through, the 77 Mustang does not go through, the 54 Ferrari does not go through, and the number 10, the 2-time pole sitting Racing Spirit of Le Mans Aston Martin does not go through. So the championship leading car, Ryan Hardwick, 17th out of 18. 81, second in the points, does not, third in the points, does not go through. 21, second in the points, does make it through into Hyperpole. Now, the extra single point probably isn't going to make or break, but it's the opportunity now to put your car quite a long way forward of your rivals on the starting grid, and as a result, hopefully maybe further away from potential drama in turns 1 and on lap 1 and 2.
Well, there's always that, isn't there? Yeah, being the further up the field you can get for the start of the race, the better chance you have of avoiding any kind of first lap mishaps and contacts, and keeping your nose clean is so important with these cars. You know, they're aerodynamically, they have to be efficient, and although not as much as the hypercars, you still get a lot of performance from keeping the bodywork intact, or as intact as you can. And yes, we look into the Iron Dames garage there. They had a spin in FP3. Car hasn't looked to be quite to their liking this weekend so far.
Has not looked comfortable, has he? Thomas Floor in a 54 garage with his back to us. Chatting to Francesco Castellacci and Davide Rigon. So they don't go through. Francois Herriot's done his job in 21. Now Simon Mann gets bolted in. We saw a smiling Valentino Rossi putting the earplugs in, getting himself ready. He figured that the BMW, Ahmed Al-Hati, had done enough. He was right. You know, when you're within half a second of the top, I mean, this year, next year, I think even half a second of the top, you're going to be in danger of being in the drop zone. But the 81 car, Tom van Rompuy, does not get through.
Yeah, and Rui Andrade, his teammate there, just chatting away. It just looked like the car didn't quite have the speed there in qualifying trim. I think it might be a little bit better in race trim, and yeah, long old race tomorrow, 8 hours. It's all about how the tyre wear will unfold for you, and maybe that's where they've been doing most of their work, which would be the right thing to do here in Bahrain.
Well, let's catch up with Tom van Rompuy, find out what their thoughts are. 8 long hours tomorrow to try and win this title.
With Tom, really frustrating session. What happened out there?
Well, we tried something which we thought also would help us during the race, especially when it got a bit fresher. But obviously, it wasn't that of a good choice. I think maybe for the race it will be, but on the one lap, we seem to be missing something. So also on my side, not the best run I ever had. So let's hope we have a really good race car and we can climb a few positions during the race.
It's a long race, huh?
Well, our winners in the season opener.
Well, I am in the Manthey Porsche garage, and next to me it's Ricardo Pera, driver of the 92 and teammate of Ryan Hardwick, who just had a difficult qualifying session. What can you expect from the race? Obviously, starting dead last with the 2 Porsches, it means that it's difficult in pure performance, but can the race be okay for you?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's not the easiest qualifying for us, but I mean, we have seen through the season that it happened quite a lot of time that we were not going to hyperpole, and then you know we had anyway good races. So even here, that is 8 hours. So at the end, qualifying is not very important. So yeah, the focus is to have a really good car for tomorrow. So all in for it.
Okay, good luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
I was about to say that from 13th on the grid in Qatar, the 33 Corvette took victory at the end of the 1812 kilometre race. And so qualifying is handy, it's important, but it is not everything, and you get very few points, and you only get those for being on pole.
Well, the one thing to wrap up there, we've now heard from Manthey First Form and from TF Sports, the only championship contender that can improve their point situation in this session is going to be the 21 car from Vista, of course. So at the moment, there are 11 points behind the number 92 car in the offing. Here is that number 21 Ferrari. That could come down to 10. Could that be a critical point at the end of 8 hours tomorrow? It could be. They'll want that point, and they'll want it badly. It will, of course, be the silver drivers now aboard the cars. It will be Valentino Rossi will emerge.
1 minute, under 1 minute to open pit lane. We are under 1 minute to start hyperpole for LMGT3 cars.
So 10 cars head out for a 10-minute session. Fastest lap takes pole position and the point that goes with it. Nervy times for some of these drivers.
It's been topsy-turvy, hasn't it, in terms of the different makes?
30 seconds, under 30 seconds to open pit lane.
So just the 2 Porsches and the 2 Corvettes, like a clean sweep of not making it here, but we've got representatives from all of the other makes.
Pit lane exit will open in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pit exit is open for hyperpole.
One of the things that you discover about Valentino Rossi very quickly is his awareness of everything. He'll smile and wave at the camera and then death it 5 seconds later. And that's what he was able to do on 2 wheels. That hasn't changed as the years have passed. He's absolutely in the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's loving it, isn't he? He's really loving his time driving 4 wheels rather than 2. He's genuinely having a great time in the World Endurance Championship. He loves driving this car, the BMW run by WRT, and working with his teammates as well is something very different from what he was used to before, and I feel like it's given him a new lease of life as well as an older athlete himself. And I feel like changing disciplines has really given him that rejuvenation.
Interesting, they switched positions there on the lap out of the pits, pulled over to the right-hand side, allowed the 31 car through. So it's Timo Boguslavski in the 31 car first out, if you like, now as they come down to turn 9 on this starting lap of this hypercar session. And again, 1 to come out, 1 to prep, and then it's go time.
Boguslavski, best of 3rd place on the grid in Qatar, and actually last time out in Fuji in the 31 car. The 46, they started 2nd in Imola. Valle just missed out on pole there. They also started 2nd in Sao Paulo and 4th on the grid last time out. So actually they have had decent qualifying pace in both of the BMWs. So Boguslavski in the car sponsored by the Bend. His teammate Mr. Shaheen, the younger of the 2 brothers.
Well, this is what I was talking about, Martin, where you could see through turn 13 he wasn't really stressing the tyres in terms of the friction caused by going through the corner too quickly, and he's doing the same thing here in turn 14. But on the straight line, just gradually weaving around, trying to build that bulk temperature up. And yes, the drivers that have just done the work out there. Aldo Harty has sent his car, number 46, through into the second part of hyperpole.
His Movember Mo is coming along nicely, isn't it?
Yes, I think it suits him.
Absolutely.
And so you see the cars just weaving around gently in the straight line, so they're not pushing yet. They know that, so these drivers are going to have a slightly better feel for when the tyre is ready to push in.
Don't forget, tickets for all of the 2026 FIA World Endurance Championship races are on sale, including from today, the 7th of November, tickets for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Last year, Pierre Fillon told us the tickets sold out for Le Mans within 24 hours. If you're watching this now, open your laptop or open your phone, watch qualifying. If you can go to Le Mans, now is the time to buy your tickets. And don't forget, if you want to see what else goes on behind the scenes, our all-access programs are online on FIAWC.tv and on the WEC YouTube channel. And for a free subscription to FIAWC.tv, you can get the all access from Bahrain, the 28th full access for Bahrain on the 28th of November. That'll be a couple of days before it goes on wider circulation. And then maybe you might want to watch all of our races ad-free, uninterrupted, and those are a very reasonable cost for the season, or race by race.
We had a quick look at the 21 Ferrari there. Can tell you the trouble for the 54's broken alternator belt is what sent it into the garage, and ultimately not enough time to get that car up into this session. Hyperpole for the top 10 in LMGT3, which features only one of our remaining 3 title contenders.
Yep, that 21 Ferrari. Simon Mann at the wheel. We've seen Timo Boguslavski and Valentino Rossi. Zach Robichon is in the heart of racing Aston Martin, the dark blue Aston Martin. Sebastian Bowe just leaving the pit lane and on an out lap now for United Autosports in the McLaren.
It's quite interesting. So Boguslavski was pushing quite clearly through turn 4 when I watched him on his first push lap, and then clearly backed out of it. So maybe he didn't feel that the tyre was quite ready then. And Valentino Rossi was just to put that into perspective, was 1.5 seconds down on Boguslavski's time through the first sector. So I don't feel like the drivers were pushing just yet, and a 2:07 was the number 31 driver's fastest lap time, so seconds away still from where we saw the bronze-rated drivers from the previous session.
Yeah,
are we going to get a Mercedes on pole here?
Well, they're looking very quick, aren't they? Last year, remember, it was still the 2 bronze drivers. It was a low 2:02 that was good enough for pole position.
And there we go. Speaking of which, straight into the 2:01s.
And Finn Gersitz goes quicker again in the Lexus, 2:01.86. What about Lorcan Hannafin in the 60 Mercedes, the yellow machine? And Gianmarco Leverato, don't forget, Mustang on pole already once this season. Morgan Hannafin up to 4th, but a long way away, 3/4 of a second away. What about the Mustang? No purple sectors, 7th.
Still not pushing. Like more than 10 seconds away, these guys. So they're clearly not pushing, or something went drastically wrong. I feel like the tyres are really just starting to come into their own now. 4th place for the second Lexus.
About 5 seconds away. Boguslavski 3rd, half a second away from the top.
It's giving an indication, if that's their prep lap, of the kind of pace we've got to come, though. Big wobble there from Timo Boguslavski over the curbs there, Anne.
Yeah, just looked like he attacked the corner a bit too early, or got on the curb on the exit of turn 12 even, just before the braking zone. So not ideal, not an ideal line through there.
Jose Maria Lopez's face was a picture there, wasn't it? Wasn't pleased with that. Now then, what about the BMW? This is the 31 car. So,
yeah, so he had his moment through turn 12, 13. Yeah, it stays P3 for now, but the lap time improves a lot. 2:02.
Simon Mann,
that
better.
Car, yeah, looks to be hustling now, Simon Mann. I think sits on a quick lap behind him, but here comes Simon Mann to cross the line.
Okay, up to 4th, still a second away. Don't forget, a second from the fastest lap was not enough to get you into hyperpole. Yes, it's purple in Sector 1, not as good as Sector 2 as his own previous best. Needs to be very tidy here then to nudge this a little closer.
Yeah, from what I could see, that final corner looked neat and tidy, pushing right to the limit. Is it going to be a fast lap? So yes, it is. It improves by another 2/10. What can the competition do in retaliation to that?
Then Hedanius, by the way, at his next Tomovaski did not improve in second. So it does move the bar. Watching Zach Robichon in the number 27 car from Heart of Racing. This is a car that's seen pole position previously this season. Is there anything more in the bank?
Yep, pole at Le Mans for the 27 car. They took pole in Texas last year as well.
Really difficult with that setting sun in front of the driver's eyes as you try and navigate your way through that final corner, that final braking zone of the lap. It looked good for Robichon through turn 14 and 15. What's it going to be as he comes to the line? Good enough for 6th place for now.
Well, at the moment, it definitely has either Lexus or Mercedes, potentially not just on pole, but locking out the front row. BMW, the next best.
Yeah, Boguslavski's pushing again. Just kind of feel like round about now you're starting to see the tyres lose their edge. Uses a lot of the entry curb, doesn't he, on the outside to just widen the track as much as he can. But I'm not sure this will be enough. A poor middle sector, not even a personal best. He runs up to the line. What's it going to be? Yes, nearly 8/10 down, and a poor final sector as well.
Simon Mann in the 21 Ferrari, similar story. Looks like it's good enough for Sector 1, the slow stuff, but the tyres going away in the quick Sector 2 and Sector 3. Enough to improve from 8th place, 1 spot up ahead of Gianmarco Leverato.
Yeah, watch Lorcan Hannafin though, good first sector. It's dropped just a little bit of time here, but time to make that up as he pushes this number 60 AMG to try to challenge Finn Gersitz. At the moment, 3/10 down.
So he's flashing the car in front of him. So he's got some traffic. He wants them out of the way before that braking zone into turn 14, and that might just put him off a little bit as well. He didn't use all the circuit before the final corner, and as he runs out wide as well, maybe as a result of that visual distraction that he had there.
So it was wide in 14, not 15. At the line, 3/10 back, 2nd place.
I think that cost him just a few tenths there. That would have been much closer without that bit of traffic for him.
Gianmarco Leverato, 7th on that lap. Shaved, by the way, 5 thousandths out of the gap. Finn Gersitz, though, has pitted from the provisional pole.
What
Here
about
comes
Clement
Tommy
Schmidt? Is this going to put him on the front row? No, not enough for the improvement. Boguslavski has done his best. Simon Mann, not a good first sector either. That's pretty much it. 2 seconds on the clock. Checkered flag comes out. And the first car across the line to take it is the number 59 United Autosports McLaren of Sebastian Boe. That car will be 10th on the grid for the season finale tomorrow, Saturday, don't forget. We'll be on air from 1:30 local, 10:30 GMT. Boguslavski, is he even going to complete the lap? For complexity's sake, he will try and move up 2/10 away from the Lexus. Not enough. Clement Schmidt will be in the top 4. Simon Mann, again, same deal here, I think. 8th position. How close is he?
Well, it doesn't matter because he's all 4 wheels over the white line in the final corner. He tried everything, but it's what we were talking about before on the circuit guide. It's very easy once you're on that exit curb through the exit of 14, and it drags you completely offline and off the circuit through 15.
Last chance for the Mercedes with Lynn Hudanius and Lorcan Hannafin, but neither have even got a slightly better lap going on. So 61, behind it 60.
Both had good first sectors, and it fell off a cliff in sector 2.
Neither of them improving on this lap. And they are second and third. They had to find a third of a second. We're not just talking tenths or hundreds, it's 3 tenths. So
yeah, they lost the edge from the tyres pretty quickly, and that's what we usually see here in Bahrain. But it was a job well done, wasn't it, by Geertz? It's a great couple of laps that he put in there. I think it could have been 2 laps actually worthy of, it was 2 laps, good enough for pole position there. Great job.
You could see with the Mercedes, their best lap, they were 3 tenths off. On that last lap, 1.7 off. So there was nothing left in the tyre. So big celebration for Akkodis ASP, the Lexus crew. They have taken their first pole position of the season.
No, second.
Second.
Second for this car, and third for the team. It's also celebrations, as we saw briefly before we quite rightly moved to our pole position setter here in Iron Lynx's garage, because second and third is a great result for them with the Mercedes AMGs.
Yeah, very impressive indeed.
Ben Barnicoat, his teammates happy with that one as well.
Yeah, be careful with Ben Barnicoat. Don't give him too much of a hug. Yeah, excellent stuff. Excellent stuff from young Finn Geertz. He's the driver. You kind of get the feeling he is a driver that we'll still be seeing in endurance racing potentially in 20 years. Well, let's catch up with our pole-sitting team and Bruce Giovanni.
Well, I mean, with Andrew Gilbert, your teammates done an amazing job. You did part of the job as well. Congratulations. It's an overall great result for the team.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, my first year in WEC, it's pretty phenomenal to think that tomorrow I'm going to start on the front row. So Lorcan did a mega job. I mean, I made a couple of mistakes, but at least we managed to get into hyperpole. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm super excited. I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's great for the team, for Mercedes, for Iron Lynx. I think it's this race. Hopefully tomorrow will be difficult, but hopefully we can have a good start.
Yeah, it's looking good for once. And finally, so very good luck for tomorrow. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Super guy, Andrew Gilbert, and that's a result this team needs, I think, at this stage. There are the classified results. It's used to sell on Saturday afternoon. It's the 78 Lexus. Finn Geertz putting in a 201.661, good enough for 3 tenths of a second out of the 60, and then the 61 Mercedes, both from Iron Lynx. They sit second and third place on the grid tomorrow.
Best qualifying for Mercedes, their previous best, a couple of 4th places for the 61 car. So
Cracking stuff.
First time they've been in the top 3. So impressive stuff indeed. And again, it's working with the package, it's improving the package, your understanding of what the car needs, how to get it out of the tyre, how the driver releases that speed, how the drivers get themselves up to pace in the car. It's a massive team effort.
Worth saying, by the way, we talked in free practice 3 about this circuit and how we felt that this was going to move towards the front engine cars. The top 7 cars in this qualifying session, it's hyperpole session, all front engined.
And predominantly because, as the guys from Ferrari were telling us yesterday, front engine cars really switch their tyres on quickly, and there's no time for messing around here. You've either got grip or you haven't. In the race, that's very different. They're all wearing Jenson Button tribute helmets there.
Good one, yeah. I did spot that earlier on, actually. They look pretty similar. Jenson wearing, of course, the same colour scheme helmet, or very similar colour scheme to what he raced with in his first ever season or 2 of go-karting. And look, what a great result here for the Mercedes team as well. AMG, they're second and third on the grid, and what an improvement from where they were at the start of the season. And also, you have to say for the Akkodis Lexus team, from where they started at the beginning of last year to where they are now, what an incredible turnaround it's been for them.
They've both been on identical journeys, bringing cars in that were not really prepped for this LMGT3 era. They're both the oldest of the LMGT3 design cars, and that didn't necessarily prepare itself well for the systems that are then loaded onto them. That's taken time to get their heads around, and they've successfully navigated that journey. And now we have two teams, two cars that are very much in contention.
Yep. The same story with the Mustang. Last year, rather, horror story for the Mustangs, whereas now, very competitive car. So, we turn our attention to Hypercar, the top tier category, and again, 18 cars go out in the first 12-minute session. The fastest 10 go through into hyperpole. This time, the only difference is no rules or regulations about who can drive when. It's have at it, lads. Put your fastest driver in. Now, so far this season, Ferrari, 51 car, the 50 car, and the 83 car have taken 4 pole positions. Alex Lynn has taken 3. So that's the way qualifying has worked out. It's Ferrari 4, Alex Lynn 3.
Such tight competition as well, though, in Hypercar, and this is going to be really hard fought for all of the drivers. They've got to be bringing their A game here to even survive that dropout zone, that elimination zone. Even drivers like Robert Kubica, race winner, of course, at Le Mans this year. They've had a fantastic season in the car 83, but all of the drivers have really got to squeeze every ounce of performance out of their machinery now to even survive that dropout zone.
Yeah, the bogey time, by the way, in this session last time, in other words, below this and you were out of the session, 1:48.1. So that's the kind of time you should be looking for as at least an indication of a relevant pace from these laps.
So as we look at the Michelin tyres here, you do have the choice of 2 different compounds, the hard and the medium, and 2 very different working ranges of temperature as well, more importantly. And I have seen already, we'll get more into this as we see the cars venture out on track and we get more imagery, but I have seen already some cars on, I think the Ferraris, on a set of the hard tyres, that's the red stripe tyre, and most of the others seem to be on the mediums like that, there on the Cadillac. And BMW running the hard red stripe tyres as well. So yeah, lots of different teams choosing different options here, quite literally when it comes to the tyre compounds.
And there's not going to be enough time for them to jump ship.
I would have thought,
if there was 15 minutes, like there used to be, you might have time to do one run and then very quickly change, but you're going to find out probably on your first push lap that you're either on the right tyre or the wrong tyre, and then there might be a scramble.
It might be possible in this 12-minute session coming, it might be possible just to circulate around, get some temperature into your brakes before you put on your favoured tyre, say the medium. I'm surprised with the sun setting that we're seeing any cars out there on the hard tyre.
Yes, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. But some mediums there, the 99ers, we can clearly see. Proton Competition, team that everybody in this paddock is watching with a lot of interest. There's the 83 car. Championship contenders in the Drivers' Championship here. That point might make a difference at the end of race.
One minute. Under 1 minute to start Hypercar qualifying session. Let's take the opportunity to remind drivers of the need to respect track limits. Thank you.
So what's it going to be? Is it going to be a repeat pole position sitter after these 2 sessions, or are we going to see something new?
I was going to talk about track temperature. I was about to say track temperature is currently 34.8 degrees. It dropped to 34.7 during that thought. It has gone down 10 degrees in the last hour.
So the 2 Peugeots there lining up. They've been quick this weekend so far, and we expect a bit more of that in this qualifying session as well. Race pace, a little bit more up for debate. And we're missing Eduardo. Where are you, Eduardo?
Eduardo's radio off.
5 seconds to go. Do you want to do it instead, Martin? 3, 2, 1, go. I think Eduardo's keeping his job.
Hypercar qualifying session is over. Well, we had a technical glitch with commentary during FP3. We seem to have a technical glitch with the race director radio as well. no question that the teams are all on Discord. They will know the session was due to start. So just having a little look actually at this time last year, and pole position was front row lockout in LMGT3 for United Auto Sports McLarens, and it was a front row lockout here last year for Toyota, with the number 8 ahead of the number 7. Don't forget, if you want to go behind the scenes on all and any of these races, check out WC Full Access programs. The latest one from Fuji was uploaded to YouTube last week. And they're an excellent opportunity to see how the teams operate and react within the races, especially in the challenging weather conditions that we had in that race and in Texas. If you didn't think it rains in Texas, boy, are you wrong. Lots of stuff that we can't show you in the live TV programs, some great onboard action, lots and lots of frank views and discussions from the drivers amongst themselves, and Alex Lynn overrunning down the hill into turn 9 and 10. Didn't have a lock up there, but Anthony Davidson, you've just got to be very careful with all of this.
Well, yeah, they don't have the luxury like the GT3 boys do with, and girls, I should say, correct myself there, with the ABS, the anti-lock braking systems. You don't have that in Hypercar. You have the traction control, but no anti-lock braking system. So you can, therefore, have some severe lockups when you've got cold tyres, particularly. As we see the two Aston Martins now, the Valkyries trundle down pit lane. They've put themselves out of sequence here, like we talked about before. Yep. They did the same thing in Fuji, and I feel like it will pay off more so here on this track with the cooling conditions than it did even in Fuji.
But Anthony, in Fuji, they weren't alone. Here, they're the only ones that have thought it's going to get cooler and grippier. So how is that? And again, this is not them, we're not quite ready for qualifying, we're not quite sure what we're doing. This is them now, we want pole into the pit lane come 15 and 20.
So I think they do have time with 9.5 minutes remaining. We do have time to swap tyres. We see them do this. Condition some of their tyres, just take off the release agent from the shiny surface goes, and you use those tyres later on in the week for the race. So and you get that opportunity to put heat in your brakes to then heat soak into the next set of tyres that go on afterwards.
Right, I was going to say, is that a set of transport tyres basically get you to the grid tyres that you've used in free practice, and the only purpose is to build heat in the brakes?
Yeah, look, because you see the Alpine now on the mediums. They've got another set ready to go on, another set of mediums.
Those are brand spanking new.
It's a 35 car. Winners, of course, last time out at Fuji.
So it's a little trick, this. It's a little trick to get more tyres. Oh, I want to see the Ferrari. What tyres are... Yeah, so they've swapped from hards onto the mediums. But this is a nice little trick, so you can build brake temperature, which then gets that heat soak into the wheels. And the wheels then, it bleeds into the air inside the next set that you put on, into the brakes. It bleeds into the wheels and into the air of the next set of tyres, and that heats them from the inside. And so you're getting everything up to temperature. So the trick is you want to use the best from your compound, and to do that you need as much bulk temperature as possible. So it's a neat little trick that some of the teams use. It's risky, it does come with its risks. If you have any yellow flags or red flags in particular, it can really hinder you in that way, because you don't get any banker on the board.
On board with Earl Bamber, and no cars yet setting any kind of flying lap time.
1:48.1 was the 10th fastest lap in qualifying last year. I don't suspect that will be enough this year. Things have got quicker as everybody has
And circuits like Le Mans, for example, are tracks that this car suffers with compared to the rest of the competition, more so. Qatar as well, it didn't bode well right from the beginning for them at that particular track. So they come here, a circuit that really stands alone in terms of its requirements for what delivers a fast lap time here. It's just strange that they come here and they're so far ahead of the competition in race pace and quali pace.
They've been so good at extracting performance on a softer grade of tyre or a cooler temperature grade of tyre than most of their rivals. Maybe they'll be able to do that here tomorrow. If they can run the medium rather than the hard tyre for longer, maybe there's an opportunity there that they're going to have to do fewer tyre changes, fewer half stints.
There's bad news actually for 5 of the 6 Toyota drivers as a result of what we do know. There's a lot we don't know, and that's that we saw last year what that car can do in the hands of Sebastian Buemi. That is the yardstick. That is possible.
Yeah, I saw Seb watching on there with a bit of a stern face, the fact that they weren't on pole, and he knows what a long race this is, and the job that he did last year. I've got a feeling he's going to have to do the same thing again if he's to beat the number 7 car crew here.
Well, and likewise, Robert Kubica in the 83 Ferrari at the end of Le Mans, you know, can you do 5? Yes. You talked about how binary it is. There was never any question that was a 1 or 0 answer. That was always a 1. And again, he might need to do the same again here just to save time in the pit lane. We could be in for some real superstar performances. So to present our Hyperpole trophies, let's rejoin Bruce Ioane.
And here we are for the Hyperpole ceremony. And first we're going to start with the GT3 drivers and Finn, who did a fantastic lap and a great pole position. It's a great result overall for Acodis ASP and the Lexus car. Can you tell us about this qualifying, other than the fact that you must be delighted?
Thank you very much. Yeah, first of all, it was like an incredible lap. It's the final Hyperpole of the season, so for sure we wanted to do well and like close the season really good. And yeah, we tried to work really hard over the weekend, and especially at this track, you know, everything needs to fit perfect. Like every corner, like the car setup, the driver, everything needs to fit, and now it pays off. And we have the Hyperpole now, the second one in 2025. It's amazing.
Thank you so much and congratulations. Arnold Robin, a little word, you must be as well super happy about that result.
Yeah, it's the best way to start the weekend. I do my job to put the car in Hyperpole, and yeah, very happy for the pole.
Yeah, well done to put that car in Hyperpole. That's a great result, great achievement. Obviously, you're not sweating because you didn't have much work to do then, but it's a great result for you after a tough season, but so far a good start of the weekend.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, tough season, but we're here at the last race. We know what we want to do. And yeah, very proud of my teammates for the job they did today. And tomorrow we're going to try and do the same and be back here in a few hours' time.
Well, it's time to celebrate now, at least the Hyperpole ceremony. And we have Jean-Baptiste Casta from Rolex, head of motorsport, to give those great medals. Turn to Arnold Robin, who did this part of the job, as he has to qualify the car in Hyperpole, and then Finn Gersitz, who did that amazing lap to get a second time on pole position. Time for the picture. Thank you, congratulations guys, again. Have a good night, get ready for tomorrow, because the big moment and a big race is tomorrow. I hear that we have the Hyperpole drivers. They're waiting for the pole sitter and Mr. Kobayashi. Yeah, we're just waiting a few moments because who's there, coming in, congratulations, had to go to the weight checking. Kamui, an amazing lap. This track seems to suit you. Last year on pole position there was a victory, not for you guys, for Seb, but you must be happy.
Yeah, definitely. I think team did a great job. Yeah, I think we have been tough season so far, and I think this is a really last race for us with the car. Obviously, we have been used a long time, but I think last race, I think we've got pole position, which is very proud. We had so much success with this car, but yeah, I think this year, I think we're really struggling, and I think all the team hard work makes bring here the pole position. Let's see tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day, and I think we'll everybody push, but also I think we'll push our best.
Yeah, for sure. Congratulations on that beautiful lap. Mike, you must be happy. How is it looking tomorrow with the degradation here? Your car seems a little bit softer. Is it going to save tire better?
Yeah, we hope so. I think that's helped us in the last few years. It's been the tyre wear management, and hopefully we can do the same tomorrow. But yeah, amazing lap by Kamui, as always. And I think all three of us are excited for tomorrow. And great job by the team, and Akadis as well with Lexus. They did an awesome job. Great to have both manufacturers here on pole.
Yeah, together, all joined. Nick, you must be eager to start tomorrow.
I will not start. Mike will start as usual, but yeah, it's been great to put both cars in front for tomorrow and try and score and finish our season on a high after a challenging season.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's time to celebrate now. Jean-Baptiste Casta, I please invite you to bring those medals presented by Rolex, and winner of the hyperpole ceremony, Nick De Vries first, then Mike Conway, and an amazing lap by Kamui Kobayashi. Again. Congratulations, guys. It's time for the picture to get a memory from that amazing moment and that amazing performance. An amazing performance from Toyota that seems to be working very well here in Bahrain. That's it for today, and we're gonna see each other tomorrow, beginning of the race at 11:30 local time, 1:30 Central European time. We will be on air at 1:30, and start of race at 2. Don't miss the action tomorrow. Bye for now.